1 Samuel chapter 22. Interesting passage. David is on the run, and he is in a territory where there are large caves, and he enters into one particular cave, the cave of Adullam. Now, this is interesting because he is joined by 400 other people who are one serious motley crew. They're distressed people, indebted people, and discontent people, and they're all banded together because they have one common purpose. They're not really in favor of Saul. So here they are in this cave, and they have this potential to be this incredibly chaotic mob, but to David's credit, his leadership actually unifies them and gives them a purpose to where they're not all over the map. That's not the point of our video today. What is the point of our video today is the meaning of the word Adullam, which is refuge. So this actual cave for David and this motley crew is really a man cave. Now, what is a man cave? A man cave is maybe something you have in your life or in different areas of your life. It could be a physical place where you go, that's your room in your home. It could be the office in your home, a workshop in your home. A man cave can be a place of refuge like a golf course. It can be a NASCAR event. I don't know, we have all kind of man caves in our life. They're geographical spots, they're events, they're hobbies, they're physical places in our home, they're our office, and these are places where we get away from everything and we can kind of shut everything else out. Well, David is in need of a man cave, especially with Saul hunting him down. He's in need of a cave that hides him and protects him and keeps him from being found. All right? It's fairly normal for us to want to have a man cave in our life because we all need a place to get away, to be hidden, and to find rest. All right, here's the problem. When the man cave or man caves in our life become so prolific and so numerous that we're seeking a refuge in activities, fantasy, addiction, other inappropriate relationships, or we're just being noble about having some very innocent getaways, but the getaways become a replacement for the refuge that you and I are supposed to find in God. And this is where it becomes a problem. When activities and work, career, money, just enjoyable things become a substitute for the refuge we're supposed to find in God. And this is not hard to do. The more stressful your life is, the more chaotic life can be, the more we need a getaway. The question is, are we getting away in Christ from time to time or not? When you sit on a Sunday morning in a sanctuary, realize that it's more than a room. It is a sanctuary. You are taking sanctuary in Christ. It's like the cities of refuge in the Old Testament where murderers could go and actually not be convicted. Do you have a kind of a relationship to where you can take refuge in God? And this is a momentary thing, it's a lifestyle thing, it's an ideology and a mindset that says, available to me 24/7 is a refuge that I can actually find in Christ. Now, it takes a little bit of doing, but that happens for each of us in a very personal, intimate way, not always like other people. So the question here is, have you acquired a knack for, a gift for finding God as a hiding place? He says, in fact, I am your hiding place, and I'm actually your strong tower. The righteous run into it, and they are what? Safe. So we look at God in a lot of different ways, as a provider, as an educator, as a soother, a comforter, a nurturer, a giver, you know, all of these things, even a taker. But the question is, have you developed, or are you willing to develop, a knack for him being your refuge when you're stressed, when you're indecisive, when you're fearful, when you really don't know what to do? this is something that is a sign of maturity. Rather than reaching for or going to a place or reaching for a thing, our first proactive response, can we find some refuge in Christ? Because I tell you what, if we live reactively, as we talked about a couple weeks ago, our first instinct, our first desire is going to be to reach out to a thing, a person, a relationship, or something that's going to temporarily give us some satisfaction, not eternal satisfaction. So it's time for us now, if you haven't done this, to practice it. Be mindful of what you're thinking about during the day. Be mindful of the man caves in your life. Some of them innocent, some of them not so much. But be mindful of them. Be intentional about identifying the ways that you automatically find refuge in your life without really even thinking about it. It's sort of not only your fault, but it has become your default. Be aware of those things. Journal the list of those things in your life that you automatically find as a go-to. If your whole life is about fleeing from your problems by letting the cable or the satellite TV just wash over you every day, that's okay, fine. It's okay, it's a man cave, I get that, but it's not a replacement. Come on, it's not a replacement. We need to develop a knack for finding sanctuary in God first, and then enjoying these other things in life that are cool. There's many things there's nothing wrong with. Some are really not cool, and I think you know the difference. Anyway, you might be indebted, discontent, you might be frazzled, and you might be like a motley crew with other people, but develop the godly cave of refuge that is found only in a personal relationship with Him. Don't let go of that. Don't let go of that until you've actually developed a knack for that, that becomes your automatic response. It's too important to just let that part of this little conversation here just go. It's too important because we're going to need it time and time and time again. So I hope you intentionally, even with the help of someone else, develop that gift and that desire and that hunger for a man cave that is more Christ than anything else. Think about that, journal about that, ask questions in small groups about that. But this is a biggie, so we need to know how to do that. Have a great week. I'll reach out to you Wednesday with an encouraging email.